In a world full of glittering illusions, I wanted to find something real. I had everything: a company I built from the ground up, a penthouse overlooking the city, a name that opened any door. But the one thing I couldn't buy was trust. So I decided to conduct an experiment. I stripped away the designer labels, the expensive jewelry, the aura of success. I became just another face in the crowd, a woman with nothing to offer but herself. I wanted to know who would love me when I had nothing. The dates were a predictable disaster. Men who started with charming smiles would quickly lose interest the moment I mentioned my supposed financial struggles. Their eyes would glaze over, their phones would suddenly become fascinating, and the fake warmth would vanish. One after another, they saw a liability, not a person. The polite goodbyes felt like small, sharp rejections. I started to wonder if my experiment was a failure, if maybe genuine connection was just a fantasy. Then, one rainy Tuesday, I walked into a small, unassuming diner. He was late, and he apologized profusely, his eyes tired, but his smile incredibly gentle. He was holding his young daughter's hand, and his entire world seemed to be wrapped up in that tiny grip. He'd been held up by an extra shift, he explained. No excuses, just a simple fact. We talked for hours. He didn't ask what I did for a living or where I lived. He asked about my dreams, my favorite books, what made me laugh. It was disarmingly normal. Gathering all my courage, I decided to deliver the line that had ended every other date. I should probably tell you, I said, my voice barely a whisper. I'm struggling. I can barely afford my rent right now. I braced for the familiar shift, the polite exit, but it never came. He just looked at me, that same gentle smile on his face, and said, "That's okay. I'm rich in the ways that matter." In that moment, something inside me just stopped. It was like I'd been holding my breath my entire life and could finally let it out. Our world became simple and beautiful. We took long walks in the park, shared cheap street food that tasted better than any five-star meal. And I watched him be the most incredible father to his little girl. The three of us would build blanket forts in his small apartment. And their laughter was the most valuable currency I'd ever known. I was falling in love, truly and deeply. But with every passing day, the secret I was keeping felt heavier. This perfect, honest man deserved the truth, and I was living a lie. The breaking point came during my company's annual gala. I was back in my CEO role, surrounded by the world I had built, but I felt completely alone. I had to disappear from our date, making up a flimsy excuse. Later that night, he saw me on a news recap of the event, introduced as the billionaire founder of a tech empire. I can only imagine the betrayal he must have felt. He stopped answering my calls, my texts. He just walked away, and I couldn't blame him. I found him back where it all began, at that little diner. This time, I came as myself. No disguise, no guards, just me. He was sitting in the same booth, staring out the window. My heart was pounding. "I didn't test you to trap you," I said, my voice shaking. "I tested the world to find you." His eyes were filled with so much hurt, but he looked from me to his daughter, who was coloring at the table, and then back to me. A long silence stretched between us, and then he spoke, his voice soft but firm. "You never needed to pretend. I already chose you." And in his words, I finally found the one thing I'd been searching for all along: real love.